Okay guys, so sorry about the noise, but I'm working. So today let's talk a little bit about the AP900 and AP1000, everything is same shit. Trigger. How to make it better, how it works, that stuff. So, okay, so this is how the trigger parts layout. It's a very simple trigger. So how does it work? Well, it's simple. This spring has two functions. It acts as the trigger spring, but also as the it also pushes the sear to engage the piston, the hammer. So we have a hammer here. Yeah, it's a custom hammer from a friend, but basically this is how it works. So that goes there. So this is the trigger engaged. So as you can see, when you pull the trigger, this angle, this part here, will move from the bottom of this part until it actually escapes and the gun shoots like that, and this thingy goes that way. So this is how it works. So what you can do to make the trigger better, first, let me see if I can show. You want a sharp edge there. I'm not sure. As you can see, it's everything but sharp. I mean, let me get something to point. So you want that to be as sharp as possible, and you want this surface here to be as polished as possible, as smooth as possible. I mean, that surface there. Then you want this surface to be as smooth as possible, and also this corner as sharp as possible. What we can always do, which I'm gonna try on this gun, this is not mine, this is from a friend, is to actually reduce this thickness here. So we're gonna go it for like half. I'm gonna cut a corner out of both sides. So we're gonna have a finish thickness of half, because if you only have half the surface, you're gonna have half the drag. And also this spring can be replaced for a weaker one, but it has a limit. You can't too weak and the trigger won't recover, and too strong, well, you have a stronger pull, or a higher weight for the trigger pull. So yeah, we're gonna polish. So this is hardened steel, so it means you can't just file this down with a regular file. You need like either a diamond file, which is what no, actually I'm gonna use my mill with a diamond wheel. So this needs to be done very carefully, because if you heat too much, the trigger will be no longer useful, and you don't want to change any angle, so you want to get this thing as straight as possible. And same here, you want to remove the less material the best. And yeah, so I'm gonna do the work and I'm gonna be back with modified pieces. Okay, so we are back on trigger parts. So this is what I came up to. Start to show. So as you can see, I removed both sides of that piece and polish it into like, it's like a fucking mirror. And what you want, it's a really sharp edge there. And same with this one. So it's polished on top and I grind it there to make sharp edge. So now I will replace the spring, which is here. So this one is 0.5 millimeters, I believe, and it's like, I don't know, 12 millimeters in length. I'm gonna replace it by either a 0.4 millimeters by 10 or a 0.3 by 15. I'll see what will work best, and I'll show you after, but I will need some time for that. I need to assemble the whole gun, and because this spring will depend on the hammer spring as well. I'm not going to use this hammer. That's another subject for another video. So this is my friend's, it's not my work. So this is the original hammer, and I'm going to replace by one of my high efficiency hammers. Anyway, we are talking about the trigger, and I'll let you know what. Actually, I was wrong. I will replace by I said a 0.4 millimeter spring by 10, but no, it's going to be like by 12. So same size as this, but weaker wire, or 0.3 millimeters by 15. So a little longer, but way weaker. And these are 4 millimeters out diameter. So yeah. So we're gonna, after I assemble all of these, I have a trigger scale, sorry, and we're gonna measure a couple of original factory trigger pulls, and then a modified trigger pull. Okay, as for spring, so this one is the first one I'm gonna try. So this is a much weaker wire. Well, it's not much, so it's 0.5, 0.4. It doesn't look much, but it's like 20% less. And the spring has less coils, so it's even softer. So we'll start with that, and maybe we'll go for a smaller one, or a 0.3 millimeter one, and we'll see after. For that I need to test.